Good morning and welcome to Kehillat Shari Torah's Omer Counting and Halachot of Shavuot review for Wednesday, May 27th. We are at 48 days of the Omer. Hayom Shmona v'arba'im yom shehem shisha Shavuot v'shisha yamim la'Omer. We're almost there. Just to finish off the idea here from Rabbi Mordechai Eliyahu, says the importance of learning on Shavuot night. All the learning of this night should be done with much enthusiasm, with true joy and excitement, as all learning this night bears fruit in the higher worlds and brings holiness and purity to one's soul. So in years past, we have stayed up in shul and learned all night. This year we're not in shul at all, but for those who have the fortitude to be able to do it, fantastic thing, wonderful, and they receive much blessing for this. Now, you may recall that in years past there was a minyan right at sunrise, because the mitzvah, for those of us who learned the Gemara Brachas in recent months, years, is to daven with the sunrise. The real mitzvah is to pray shacharit with sunrise, he writes. Some are lenient and allow one to be able to pray at dawn and to pray the immediate even before sunrise. Most of us daven a little bit later, like a couple hours after that. But it's an opportunity if people are up all night to daven at the proper time, which is Netzach Hama, which is when the sun appears. So some people do that. Others prefer to get a little bit of sleep and then daven with concentration there. The main thing is, he says that one should daven both Shacharis and Musaf with enthusiasm, with zeal, to make sure that you don't fall asleep and not make any mistakes and start rattling off the weekday Amida that your lips are programmed to. You have to focus on what you're doing. So that's that. If someone is unsure whether they'll be able to daven Shacharis and Musaf properly, better for them to sleep a little bit, get a little nap before the prayers, and then, in other words, sleep in order to daven, as opposed to davening in order so you can just forget this whole thing and hit the sack. Okay, so you have to have our priorities in line. Let's take a look at the spiritual aspect, the spiritual dimension of counting the Omer. Today is 48 days, 6 weeks and 6 days of the Omer. In the column in your siddur, for counting the Omer there, it says the combination of Yesod Shebemalchut, Yesod Shebemalchus, bonding in nobility. Examine the bonding aspect of your sovereignty. Healthy independence should not prevent you from bonding with another person. On the contrary, self-confidence allows you to respect and trust another's sovereignty and ultimately bond with them. That bond will strengthen your own sovereignty rather than sacrifice it. Some self-interrogatory questions. Does my sovereignty prevent me from bonding? Could that be because of deeper insecurities of which I'm unaware? Do I recognize the fact that a fear of bonding reflects a lack of self-confidence in my own sovereignty? Do I talk to the one with whom I bond and discuss my fear that bonding will compromise my boundaries? Exercise for the day. Actualize your sovereignty by intensifying your bond with a close one. That's it for today. Tune in tomorrow for the last full day of counting the Omer.